Today I'm going to teach you lucky dudes out there how to create tabs. Tabs can be a never-ending source of frustration if you don't do them properly. So you want to have your ruler on at all times, which will immediately make it easier. So normally you're going to be on the Home tab, so you're going to switch to View, and then you're going to click Ruler, and bingo, there it is. Here's your ruler. Okay, so keep that on all the time. On the left over here, this gray area is your left margin, and on the right over here is your right margin. Now this little doohickey over here is your first line indent. So watch what happens when I move this over to the right. You're going to like that. Wow, your first line moves to the right. Then if I move it back, look what happens if I select the whole document. And the same thing would happen if your document was longer. Move it over to the right, and both first lines move to the right. Okay, and this is your indent for everything. So if you move this to the right, it didn't go. Let's try again. Everything moves to the right. Same thing over here. This is your right indent. If I can grab that properly, everything will move to the center, and it'll be nice and narrow and looks a bit like some kind of column in a book or something like that. So that's perfect. Now on this page, you've been given a pretty hideous looking grocery list to buy items for your high school barbecue, let's say. So you want to have all your columns and rows straightened out so it looks a lot tidier than that, so you can make out what's what. Otherwise you're going to get all the wrong stuff and all the wrong amounts. So the best thing to do is I would do item cost count and total separately, since they don't have decimals like the number below them, and then I'll show you how to use the decimal centers. So what you do is you go over here, leave item on the left because it lines up perfectly with lettuce, tomato, etc. Here is your center tab. We're going to do two center tabs, one for cost and one for count. And you want to spread them out evenly, but if you don't like the way they are, then you can spread them out later. And a right tab for the word total. So now all you have to do, and things might not go to the right spot immediately, but you're going to use tab and backspace. Just remember that to get them where they need to be. And they will always go under their assigned tabs. So watch this. Here's total. It's there for now, but it might move. Count. See? Count, total move to the next line. Here's your cost. I'm going to tab it over. And then you use backspace to move your count back. And you use backspace to move your total back. And it'll be perfect and just the way you want it. One thing to keep in mind is that you have to use tab and backspace occasionally because some of these items over here or a bit of a hodgepodge. And if you had set your tabs first, it would have never happened. When you set your tabs first and then put down the items, everything goes exactly as you want it. Keep that in mind. So one thing you could do is start mashing your space bar and move your 895 all over to your total, but they never stay where they're supposed to, and that's the absolute worst way to work with Microsoft Word when you're doing tabs. Those are not tabs, that's space bar. So you're going to select everything, and you don't have to do anything here because it's going to go in your left margin with lettuce, tomato. But then cost, you're going to want a decimal center. So let me find the decimal center. Here it is. And you want it right in the middle of cost. And that's where your decimals will line up. So you'll see in a sec that'll work. Then these numbers here don't have decimals. So you want to use a regular center. Let me find that. Here's the regular center over below count. And don't worry about a thing. It'll line up after. And then for total, you want a decimal center again. So I will put that right in the halfway area of total. And here you've got it, but you don't have it yet, as you can see. Some of these things need to be moved around. So the 462 over here, you're just going to hit tab, and it moves into place. The 275 over here, you're going to press tab, and it's going to go into place. Here, tab, then you have to backspace this one, I guess, and then you have to tab this. Again, you just have to play around with it a bit, but it's very easy. It's just tab and backspace. It's nothing to worry about. Tab, and then you have it all lined up. And one more time, set your tabs first at the top, then put the words, and you won't run into any of that. But That just took me a few seconds to fix anyway, and it's all beautifully lined up, and now you can make out what everything is perfectly. Now I'll show you something else that's kind of nifty, which are dot leaders and underlines. Let's say you want a menu prepared by John Doe, and you want it to be underlined, or dotted line, let's say. So you're going to go to Paragraph, and you're going to go to Tabs, and you're going to put, okay, 12 is a good spot. That was already preset, so let's stick with 12. You're going to want it to go to the right of menu prepared by your dots, and dot leader. See, it's usually on none, but then you move it over to dot leader. Don't forget you have to press set and OK. And then as soon as you press tab, voila, you have your dots that go to 12, and that looks kind of nice. Then over here for date, it's the same kind of thing. You press paragraph, tabs. Okay, let's say you want it to go all the way to 16. You're going to press 16. It's on right, and you're going to want your underline here. 16, you have to make sure it's all right. Set, OK, and then if all works well, it's going to give me a nice underline. Bravo, it did it. So that's great. I'd say we're pretty much done. This is your lesson today. Just remember, once again, a big pointer would be to put your tabs in advance before you type anything, and everything will fall into line. But it's not a problem if you do it otherwise. Just select everything that you want to change so it all changes as a group. Okay? Good luck.